Welcome dear students. So, today we will be talking about your queries in SQL, their subqueries, and we will talk about different aggregate functions. Right. Now, when we talk about SQL, SQL is completely about queries. Right. The name also talks about the structured query language. So, whenever we are talking or dealing with SQL, we have to deal with different type of queries, right. So, we will be talking about how to create queries, how to add sub queries, and how to use different type of aggregate functions in case of queries. So, let us quickly start with the concept of queries and sub queries, right. So, whenever we talk about a query refers to a select statement and is used to extract information from the table. So, whenever we are using a select statement, it is a query. It is not necessary that we have select from where this combination goes completely, then only it is a query. Whenever we are using a select statement, it becomes a query, right. So, we are going to see how queries are made, how queries within queries which are known as subqueries they are created, right. So, to start with, let us start with direct implementation of queries. So, over here it says that get department number and average salary of the employees of department number 3 or more, right, and having more than 10 employees, and order the information in descending order of the average salary. So, this is a query that we need to implement. What we need to do? We need to find first the department number and the average salary of all the employees, right, where the employees are in department number 3 or more than 3, right, and where the number of employees in the department are more than 10, and all the information is to be arranged in a particular order in descending order of average salaries. Let us start with the implementation of the query. So, let us see, the first statement obviously is going to be select. Again I am telling you that SQL is a case sensitive language. So, these commands select, from, where, group by, then different type of operators, all these should be in capitals. To save time, I am using a flowing method to show you, but you have to use capitals for all these statements, right. Select the department number, the average salary as, so we are renaming it so that we can get the average salary in one variable, right. Select department number and the average salary, right, and this average salary we have renamed as average dash salary from where? From the employee table. So, from means we have to specify the table name, from employee where. Now, these are the conditions. So, under where we will specify our condition. Select, we have specified what we want, from we have specified from where that information is going to come, and now where is going to specify the condition, right, that under which condition this information has to be extracted, where department number is greater than equal to 3, where the department number is greater than equal to 3, which has been specified over here, right. And now, because we have to find that the number of employees in that particular department should be more than 10. So, first we have to group all the employees department wise, right. So, before counting that how many employees we are having in a particular department, we have to group them by their department numbers. So, we will write group by also comes in capital. So, we are going to group by department number. So, all the employees in a particular department will be grouped in one place, right, grouped by department number, having count greater than 10, right, having count greater than 10, that means whatever we have grouped, that count should be more than 10. Ordered by because it has been specified that we have to order it in descending order, order by average salary that we have specified at this point, average salary in descending order. So, descending should also be in capitals. So, this is how we implement a query where we have multiple specifications, where we need to find a particular set of attributes that we want conditions to be applied, we want ascending or descending orders also. So, this is how we implement a simple query, right. Now, let us move to the next set. It says that a query refers to a select statement used to extract information from the table. So, now what we need to do is query list employee names along with the names of their respective department head. So, what we need to do is we need to write a query which is going to list the employee names along with their respective department heads, right. This is very simple. How we are going to do it? We will simply write select E dot employee name as employee name. Now, over here we are assigning the values of the attributes to a particular new attribute. So, here we are like we are creating some temporary attributes and we are giving the values to those attributes. So, employee name has been named as E dot name. E is stands for the table. So, we are going to rename the table also, the employee table also using E, right. How we will do it? We will see. Then comma k dot E name as manager name. So, in the database this was the manager name, this we have renamed as k dot E name, right. So, this is all renaming that we are using over here. Now, what is this k and E that I am going to specify? From employee. So, our table name was employee. So, we are renaming it as E, from employee E and from department D and one more renaming employee K. So, you can see the employee table has been renamed by two names E and K. Why? Because we need the same data, the employee data from the employee table and the manager data also from the employee table. So, we are extracting two different type of information from the same table, that is why we are renaming it by two terms, right. And now, we will specify where E dot department number is equal to D dot department number. Now, this is what we are doing, we are creating the relation, we are creating the match, and D dot department head is equal to K dot E I D, right. So, what we have done is we have taken we have extracted the employee name right, from the table employee. We have used seen the renaming option where we are renaming the tables with a new name, we are renaming the attributes also, we are comparing two different tables, we are comparing the same table with itself, because you can see the employee table E and employee table K is being used to extract the information. So, this is how we use simple select statements. Let us now move to subqueries, and this is how we implement subqueries. You can see. So, this is an example, like it says to get the name of employees having highest salary. Now, how to find the highest salary if we do not compare the salary of all the employees in a particular department. So, what we are going to do is we are going to find the max salary and then we are going to put it into another query. So, over here you can see that we have used this particular structure. It says select distinct e name. Distinct means it should not have more than one copies. Distinct employee names from the employee table where salary is equal to, now this is the subquery where salary is equal to, now where it is going to get the salary from, it is going to get the salary from that employee who is having the max salary. So, how to calculate the max salary? First we will be using the max function. The aggregate functions we will do in detail, but right now you see how we are using the max function. So, select max on the salary attribute from where? From the employee table. So, what is this query actually doing? This is a example, a typical example of a subquery. And what is the subquery? This is your subquery. This is your subquery. Now, what is this subquery doing? It is basically finding out that employee who is having the maximum salary. From that, it is giving the data to the parent query. From the parent query, what it is doing? It is selecting or searching for name of only that employee who was having the maximum salary. So, this can be called a subquery, or it is also known as a nested subquery. It is also known as a nested subquery. So, this is how we use subqueries, right. Now, we have gone through the basic structure for creating queries and subqueries. Now, before we get into the more complicated queries in SQL, we need to know about the aggregate functions, because the aggregate functions are used everywhere. You have seen this max was also a aggregate function. So, we will go with the aggregate functions now. Right. Now, what is the aggregate function? It says in a database management, aggregate function, or it is also known as aggregation function, is a function where the value of multiple rows are grouped together to form a single summary value, right. So, whatever we have in the database, so from multiple rows we are going to club them together and we are going to get one summary value. So, you saw that in the previous example there were so many salaries, but what we did, we clubbed them using the max salary and we came up with a single value, right. So, this is why whenever we are using aggregate functions, we can club them up to get single values, right. So, to start with aggregate functions, we have multiple aggregate functions. We have seen that the max function we have also already seen, we have min function, we have average function. So, there are multiple functions or operations that can be done using the aggregate functions. So, let us start with the aggregate functions. So, this is the basic syntax for the aggregate functions, where we will be which we will be using in your SQL commands. So, it says that select statement is always there, select is always there, right, and then we have the function name. So, over here we will have the different function name like average, min, max, all those things, right. We will have the different function names. Then we will have the parameter, that on which particular parameter we are going to apply this function. So, the parameter can be the salary, the parameter can be the result. Suppose we want to find out the topper of the class. So, the parameter is going to be result in a particular subject, or result, overall result, the complete percentage, and so on. From which table name, right. So, you have to obviously you have to specify the table name also, right. So, the first aggregate function that we have is the average function, right. Now, how does it work? We have seen how max is working. Similarly, average also works. So, over here you can see that this function returns the average value of the names columns that is supplied as a parameter. So, if we are having like over here we are having the salary, similarly we can have the marks, the result, and so on, right. So, we can apply the average. So, this is your function name, this is the function name, this is how we apply the average operation, right. Then salary is your parameter, this is the parameter, from this is the table name, this is the table name. So, this is how we implement the average function. Similarly, if we want to find the topper of a class in a particular subject, so we can write something like select average, basically result. We can find the average result, we cannot find the topper because for that we require the max function, but we can find the average marks in a particular subject in a particular class. So, we can say average on marks from where? From which table? From the result table, from the result table. So, what we are doing over here? We are trying to find out the average marks from the result table. So, this is how the average function works. Now, let us move to the next function. It is known as the count function. So, as the name says, count is used for what? Count is used for finding the count of any particular basically the number of tuples that we are having under a particular condition, right. So, if we need to find out the number of female students in a class, so we can use the count on the gender of the student. So, let us see over here we have an example which says write a query to return the number of rows where salary is more than 20,000. So, what we are going to do is we are going to find out the number of employees who are having salary more than 20,000. How we are going to implement it? Very simple, like other aggregate functions. Over here also we will be using select. So, select is always there, we cannot have a query without select. Select count star, that means count on the complete set, right. So, that is why count star from employee table. So, this is your table name where salary is greater than 20,000, right. So, what have we done? We have used the function name, this was your function name, this is your table name, right, and this is the condition, right. So, this is how we use count, right. Now, count star, what does count star, because I have been using count star, what does count star signify? Count star signifies that count all the numbers of rows of the table including null. So, you are going to count everything even if the values are null, right. So, whenever we specify count star, it means it is going to count even the tuples with null values, right. Now, simple count on column name, on a particular column name, what it is going to do? It is going to count the number of not null values in the column, right. If we specify something into this bracket, or we are going to specify the attribute name in this bracket, it is going to count only those values where it is not null, right, where it has not been left out, right. Last one, count distinct columns, and we have the column name, distinct column name. So, what does it do? It does that count the number of distinct value in a column, right, count the number of distinct values in the column. So, what it is going to do? It is going to remove the duplicate values, it is going to remove the duplicate values. So, this was your count function. Let us move to the next set of functions, right. The next set of function is the standard functions that we use very frequently, right. So, these functions are like, we have the max function, the sum function, the min function, right. So, the max, we have already seen that how to use max, right. So, over here the example says that write a query to find the maximum salary in employee table. We have already done that, right. So, how we are going to do it? I will just repeat it quickly, how we are going to find out the max. So, we are going to write select max on salary from employee table, right. Select max from salary from employee table. So, this is what we are going to use as use for the max function. Similarly, how to use the sum function? For the sum function, we have let us take a query again. It says the function sum is used to sum up the values in the column, right, which is supplied as a parameter, which is supplied as a parameter. So, this is a parameter, right. So, this function sum is used to sum up the values in the column which is supplied as a parameter. So, now if we want to find the total marks of the students that they have got in a particular class, we can use the sum function. So, what is the example given over here? It tells you to write a query to get the total salary of the employees, write a query to get the total salary of the employees. So, what we are going to do? Very simple again, we are going to write select sum on salary from employee table. Select sum on salary from employee table, right. So, this is how we use the max and the sum function. Similarly, we also use the min function, right. So, if you need to find the minimum salary of the employees, the employee with the minimum salary in a department, we will just write select min salary from employee. So, instead of max, we have just used min, right. So, these were the standard aggregate functions. Now, we have some extended aggregate functions also, like we have the standard deviation function, the variance function. So, this is the standard deviation function. So, basically what do we do in the standard deviation function? Standard deviation is used to find the standard deviation of the column which is specified as the argument, right. So, we need to, if we need to find out the standard deviation of any particular variable or any particular attribute, like we will need to find out the standard deviation of the salary of the employees, or we need to find out the standard deviation in the result of the students. So, we can use the standard deviation function. So, what is specified over here, the query that it asks us to write, it says that write a query to find the standard deviation of salary in the employee table, right. We need to find the standard deviation of salary in the employee table. Now, how we are going to do it? Very simple. Select now this is the function S T D D E V. So, this is the function name used for standard deviation. So, it will always go in caps, do not use other cases. If you are using other cases, you will finally end up with errors. So, again I am repeating, SQL is a case sensitive language. You cannot use cases according to your own requirements, right. So, standard deviation on salary from employee table. So, this will give you the standard deviation on the salary. Similarly, we have the variance function also. The variance function is used to find the variance of the columns specified as arguments. So, how do we do it? We simply write select variance. So, this variance is going to be your, this is your function name, right. Select variance on salary from employee, right. Select variance from salary from the employee table. Now, let us go through some query practices. We will very quickly go through them. Now, this query tells you to find the min, max and average salary of the employees. How we are going to do it? Simple, select min on salary, max on salary and average on salary, right, from the employee table, So, this query is done. So, you will see that writing a query, you have multiple methods. Whatever you are writing, that should be optimal, right. Coming to next, it says to find the average salary of the department having at least 50 employees. Now, a new factor has been added. So, it says to find the average salary of that department which is at least having 50 employees. So, it is select department number on average salary from the employee table grouped by, I told you whenever we are going to find the count, or we are going to find like how many faculties are there, how many students are there, we are always we will group by it before we start counting it, right. Having count greater than equal to 50. So, this is how we basically use the aggregate functions using the average function, right. Let us move to two more queries. we will do it quickly. So, the first query says to find the average marks and the total marks obtained by each student, right. Now, what does how we are going to do it? We are going to use the average function and the sum function, both of them. So, we say select roll number on average on marks, sum on marks from result, group by roll number. So, we have grouped the students according to their roll number, and accordingly we have found the sum and average of each student, right. So, this is the last query we will be doing, right, and this is about finding the minimum, the maximum and average marks obtained in each subject. Now, that was about every student, now this is about each subject. So, now we are going to use group by subject code, right. So, we write select min on marks, max on marks, average on marks from result, group by subject code, right. So, you can see how we have made small changes and the result gets affected according to the changes we are doing. Over here I made group by subject code. So, we are going to get the average marks of each subject. When I do group by roll number, it will be the average marks for each student. So, this is how SQL queries work and subqueries work. You need to practice lot of queries to understand or to have a good grasp on SQL queries. Thank you so much.